Right, so this is our coaching call recap video from our recent coaching call. So just to go over the points of that call again, so you've got it for your reference. So to start with, well done on the bike ride. You smashed 15k, and by the sounds of it, you probably could have done more. Which leads us on to our this week's target of 30k on the bike. Again, if you're doing 15k in one bike ride, I think 30k is a very, very achievable target. Obviously, last week our target was 25. Didn't quite hit that, but we could have hit it, and we both know we could have hit it, which is good. So I think by upping it by 5 kilometers, it will make up for that and then some. So that's the first target for this week. The other thing I'd like to do is a warm up and cool down before and after each of those bike rides, just to make sure we're maximising the performance of the muscles in the warm up and the recovery of the muscles in the cool down. And the same principle as that, we'd like you to up your protein target slightly. So just make sure you're eating slightly more protein on the days after your cycle and ride, again to maximise the recovery process of the muscles. So then we can get the best performance out of them on our next bike ride. Next, shoulder pains and aches. Obviously, we've mentioned that before. If you do get any, please make sure you do the stretching routines. Try and do them daily if you can. You can do them daily before you get any aches and pains, so you could actually start that sooner rather than later. Just do them daily. It takes a couple of minutes, but we're just sort of maximising mobility in the shoulder joints, again, to make sure our workouts, etc., we're going to get the most performance and the maximum recovery. Step targets, we're going to be looking at doing 10,000 a day. Obviously, I appreciate that there may be still some issues nipping back and forwards to the hospital, as you mentioned before. So just do what you can, or as best you can, and we just know we're aiming for the 10,000 steps a day. Finally, we have set a target for mid-August for a game of squash or a swim. Now, obviously, we did the same sort of thing with the cycle ride, and it's worked really, really well. So if it worked before, there's no reason why it won't work again. There's no reason why we should do it differently. So we've set that target in place, and now that gives us something to work towards with these bike rides. The performance that we're going to get from these bike rides is then going to aid in the performance and the sort of start of the games of squash and or swimming. And then what we'll do with that is then we'll build on them two and the cycling together. That will then lead us on to our next part of your midterm goal, which is maybe coming down for a kickboxing session with myself. So that's what we've got in place. So just to recap that, 30k on the bike this week with a warm up and cool down afterwards. Higher protein on the days after to aid in the recovery process. Keeping up with the shoulder mobility work if needed to make sure we've got maximum mobility in the shoulder joints and least amount of pain possible. Working as close as we can to a 10,000 step a day target. And we have a mid-June target of a game of squash or a swim. Okay, our next coaching call is Sunday at 8 PM. If you need anything throughout the week, just let me know, and I will be in touch shortly. Cheers, Roy. Have a good week. Bye.